Hey everybody, hope you're all having a good weekend. Gig review for you. I actually went to Birmingham on Friday evening because I booked the day off work. I went to Bloodstock Metal for the Masses. I believe it was like the quarter final or semi final or something like that, and it was sold out. So when I got there, I spoke to my two good friends, Amy and Gemma from the Kisses, who also run the event, and said it was sold out, which I thought was cool. Everybody was there mainly for the headlining band Battleborn, which are one of my favourite current um, localish bands because they're from Southampton, from the UK where I am. Absolutely incredible band, but there was four bands on the bill, and I was online looking for the ticket for Battleborn for the Birmingham show, and I went everywhere and I could not find it. All I could find was Bloodstock Metal to the Masses. I didn't know that they were doing the Metal to the Masses. I genuinely thought it was just a headlining show. I never knew. And then when I found out there was a Bloodstock Metal for the Masses and there was a special guest, I thought, oh, that's cool. I know, other than the tour that they're doing at the moment, this was like a 40-minute set, not the usual. I believe it's like an hour or something, but they were still absolutely fantastic live. And I saw four other bands. Didn't know much about the band because I didn't even know who there was. I did a little research into them, and I thought some of them were not my go-to genre that I listen to a lot of. But I thought, you know what, I'm gonna give these bands a go, and I'll sit through every band and actually see what I think of them. But there's a band called Nameless. Didn't really know much about the name, but I gave them a listen, and I thought they were pretty good. I thought these are cool and they're a band I could probably get into, so I thought I've made a note of the band, and pardon me, and I thought when I get a moment I'll actually get onto the Facebook page, that sort of stuff, and dip into them, and because I've got a list on my laptop, and I've got a list of bands, so it's like bands I've seen live that I don't know much about, bands I need to check out, and all that sort of stuff. So they're on that list, and then I'll get around to them and I'll give them a go. Then there was another band called Cyborg, which the minute I heard the name, I thought, is that like sci-fi themed type of band? And again, it wasn't too bad. I thought I'm not something I'd overly listen to, like say every day, like I do with power metal. But pretty good, and I thought I'll add them to the list. Another band. Then there was a band called Kensi or Kensai. Virtually nothing about them, and when I seen them, I was like, whoa, these are really good. So I thought I need to get their stuff and have a look. So I'm going to be looking for their CDs and that sort of stuff. And then the last one was Tooth and Dagger. I was actually chatting to a guy outside because he came out, and I think he commented on like the weather or something, and then he was on about the bands that are there, and I said, I'm here to see Battleborn. I knew nothing about the bands, and he actually got his phone out on Spotify and played some Tooth and Dagger, and he was singing along to them, and he played one of their songs and said, what do you think of this? And I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. And then a guy came out who was, suppose he's a good friend, and we was having a chat, and he was a singer of Tooth and Dagger, which I thought was cool. I had a little chat with him, talked about the bands, and I asked him their style purely because I asked most bands, pardon me, I basically ask them, what's your style? It's because then off their style I can usually, because certain styles I love more than others, so like if they said they were power metal, more than likely I would like them. But if they're like say like some of the generic Death Doom, which a couple of bands in the past have said were Death Doom, and I listened to them, and it was the usual Death Doom that I've listened to with dozens of bands, and it was, to me, it was a bit generic, which wasn't too bad. It's just not really something of my go-to. So he said the name, and I thought that was cool. Listened to the song, thought they're pretty cool. They're a band I must check out. But then I was obviously there for the mighty Battleborn, which are incredible. First time I'd actually see Battleborn was Bloodstock Open Air, a couple of Bloodstocks ago. I was on the New Blood stage, and nobody could get in because it was ram-packed, and they put on a great show. I know then they played mainly stuff off the EP, their debut EP, and then they played one song which is off the reissue EP, and I believe that was it. And then I'd seen them in Power Metal Quest Fest, where they played something like 3 songs off the EP, and most of it was off their album, their current studio album, Blood. Is it Blood, Fire, Wind and Steel? Absolutely fantastic album. Prior to this gig, I've played the hell out of the album a gazillion times. on Spotify and on CD, and it's all I kept playing throughout the whole week. Near enough was that album and selected tracks. It was fantastic. They played something like 8 songs, and they started off with their track, which is one of my favourite, and that's the title track, Battleborn, which is one of the title of the band. Bloody incredible. And then they came into their next track, which is a Blood and Fire. I love the symphonic elements of this song because middle part has got like some symphonic elements, and it's absolutely incredible. And hearing it live, I was happy to hear the new stuff live from the new album because it works well in a live environment. Then they played Man of War, which is off their debut EP that was released in 2020 or 21, I believe that was released. It's still a great EP for a band, and my favourite EP. I would have loved to hear them play again my favourite song, which is Someone God Awaits, which is obviously my favourite, but it wasn't played, but the set was just still awesome. Then they kicked into their lyric video, which is Power Force. I believe there's a lyric video on YouTube, or is it? No, it's Dragonheart, the lyric video was to play next, but Power Force is absolutely awesome. The only thing is, when I hear them singing Power Force, I cannot help but think of the bottle of bleach, because there's a bottle of bleach for anybody in the UK, and it's called Power Force, and I thought that would be a great name for a UK power metal band, but or international power metal band, or just a power metal band in general. But Power Force, just absolutely awesome. Then after Dragonheart, they're sort of like, this is more like a sort of pirates song, a pirate theme, that sort of stuff, which was incredible. Down your drinks and raise your swords. So I was singing to my heart out, obviously, to all of this, because I've learnt the lyrics for everything that they were playing, and I'd found out a few days before what they played at Manchester, so I usually like to know the set list, is because I don't know what songs they're playing, so I can start learning the lyrics and that sort of stuff. Then they played Firestorm, which is off obviously their debut album, which I thought was pretty cool to hear that live. And they ended with their track Bring the Metal Back, which for me was absolutely fantastic, although I changed the lyrics purely because Jack obviously knows already. My good friend Stewie Watson made a dad joke about Battleborn, and when I was singing, instead of Bring the Metal Back, I was singing Bring the Kettle Back, purely because my good friend Stewie has done a dad joke about it. So now when I listen to that song, I cannot help but hear the lyrics Bring the Kettle Back, which I'm laughing my head off. But that was their last song, and that was absolutely incredible. I would have loved to meet them after and got a photo and that sort of stuff, but the moment they finished, I had to dash off because I had to get the train home. And it was like 11:33, so something like 25 minutes to get to the train station. I had to rush. I got there for 11:33, got on a train. By 12 o'clock, it was still in Brum, and we had to get off the train because they tried uncoupling it and coupling it and said there was something wrong with the train. We had to get off and wait for another. I didn't get home till 2 a.m. I was absolutely knackered, and I must have slept most of yesterday. But that's why I'm doing the video today. It's Sunday today, so I thought I'd do the video. But a couple of funny things. I've been to the Flapper before in Birmingham. Such a great venue, but it always makes me laugh when I hear that name, the Flapper. I just for some reason I just laugh. But my good friend John Appleby, who I met at a Avantasia gig, who also was living in Wellington at the time, which I thought was a coincidence, got to the Avantasia gig, and I was just randomly chatting to a guy, and I said hello, and we were chatting about the bands, and I said, all right, shook his hand off and said, my name's John. He said, oh, my name's John. I said, so where you come from then? He said, Wellington in Shropshire. And I was like, no, me as well. So that's how I met him. And his partner Emma came along. Well, at one point John buggered off because I think he went to the toilet, or was it a drink or something, and his partner Emma was standing next to me. But the next minute she turned around and she went to hold some random guy's hand, believing it was her partner John, and then she went white and was like, oh, sorry, and realised it was the wrong guy. I was literally laughing my head off. I couldn't stop laughing all evening. She told me politely, you know, where to go, but she was laughing her head off as well, and thought it was funny. But I got chatting to a guy who was wearing a Battle Beast shirt, who went to the Circus of Doom tour in Wolverhampton, and he went to the same gig as me, and I've added him to the PowerSymphonic group, as you can see the poster flag up there. But yeah, added him to the group, and he said he loves Battleborn, and then I was mentioning about all the power metal bands that I posted in that group, the Power/Symphonic. So added into the group, so I thought that was cool. So every time I see people at the gig, if they're wearing me like a power metal shirt or symphonic metal, I usually just stop and try and chat to them and just say something like, "Ah, cool t-shirt, have you seen them live?" And then I have a little chat with them, and then I add them to my group. Well, I was wearing a Hammerfall shirt, and a guy CB was like, "I love your Hammerfall shirt," and then I had a little chat with him and asked him about my group on Facebook and asked him if he wanted to add him. But yeah, run a group on Facebook for anybody who probably come across and doesn't know. It's called PowerSymphonic. Well, obviously the flag's up there, and it's dedicated to stuff like power metal, symphonic power metal, symphonic metal, epic metal, fantasy metal, neoclassical metal, traditional metal, operatic metal, all that sort of good stuff. Instrumental metal and everything. It's all fantasy based, so like Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, Dungeons and Dragons, all that sort of stuff. And there's plenty of bands in that group like Powerwolf, Battle Beast, Battleborn. I've got Hammerfall on my leg, and then it's like Nightwish, Delane, Rhythm Temptation, Edguy, Avantasia, Gamma Ray, all that sort of stuff. So it's a bit of everything. We do promote the up and coming bands more because we're trying to get them where they need to be. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this gig review of the Battleborn gig. My next gig is in June. I'm trying to think of the date, but I'm off to see I'm on a Monomarth in Wolverhampton. I've actually got a Monomarth on my arm, and then near the end of June, I've realised Fury are actually playing in Birmingham, and they're doing Metal to the Masses. Bloodstock Metal to the Masses, the next one. So I think it's like £8 a ticket. So I'm going to be popping along, and I'll be getting a ticket for that because that's going to be very interesting. And I get to see my mate Julian again, and then I can chew his ear off about our love for Manchester United, because we're both Manchester United fans, and as you can see, massive big Man United fan. We've got a cup final versus Man City, so hopefully we can beat them. But hope you all enjoyed this video unboxing. If you're new to this channel, if you want to like and subscribe, hit that notification bell, all that sort of good stuff. It's mainly unboxing videos. I've actually got 4 albums here that I'm going to be unboxing, so I'm about to do a video on my latest haul, and then I'll be getting all them unboxed and posting on my YouTube channel. So yeah, I do hope you guys enjoyed this video on my gig review of the Battleborn and Bloodstock Metal to the Masses. I'll catch you in the next one, so hope you all have a good one, and I'll see you later. I'm just seeing if that will... Oh, yeah, I started with videos. It's like when you put your hand out like that and it gives the time, and then it will start the video. I was actually checking to see if you can actually stop the video by pressing that instead of leaning over and pressing the stop button. But yeah, see you in the next video, and have a good one.